Chicago and Milwaukee are both major cities along the western edge of Lake Michigan, with their downtowns being just 80 miles apart. The Chicago, Kenosha, Racine, Milwaukee metro areas contain a total of almost 11.4 million people. As such, there's a myriad of ways to travel between the cities, and I'm going to ride every ground public transportation mode between them in one day. Good morning from Chicago's Union Station. It is very early and very cold. I am on my way to O'Hare, not to catch a flight, but to catch a bus. The first trip of what's going to be a long day, because I'm taking every way from Chicago to Milwaukee, not including driving or flying. This is basically completely inspired by Miles and Transit's video, where he did every way from Boston to Cape Cod, so stealing your idea again. But because I'm me, I'm going to be painstakingly, quantifiably rating each and every mode on 4 factors: travel time, cost, comfort, and convenience. As always, thank you to my very generous patrons who give me money to waste, to use on these videos. First mode I'm getting is the CTA to the ATS to CoachUSA. So let's get going. The first main method, again, is CoachUSA. It's their airport shuttle, or Airport Express, or whatever they call it. It leaves from O'Hare, makes like a stop in Kenosha, a stop in Racine, stops at the Milwaukee airport, and then goes downtown to, the Milwaukee station. It doesn't start from downtown, it only starts from O'Hare from what I can tell. So I've got to get up there to grab it. The first bus of the day, which leaves at 6:30. So I'm on my way to grab the blue line, which thankfully is 24 hours. So I'm able to do this at a stupid hour of the day. And I take this moment to say how depressing it is that this is the station, the closest blue line station to Union Station, and this is the entrance. It's not too bad right now because, again, it's stupid o'clock, but alright, 10 minutes, that's not too bad. I know I complained about the entrance, but the station itself is also in pretty poor shape. Made it to O'Hare. That train got really busy. Still there?
Please stand clear. Train departing.
I love that they play the doors closing, train departing announcements in the hallway as you're walking. Which, I mean, it's so they can do the oh yeah, next train is arriving. And it's just wired in the same way. I also love that there's also a female voice and a male voice. Because sure. Imagine you're on that bus and you get the seat that's completely covered by an ad. Also, I'd like to point out there's 4 different bus companies on here. There's Megabus, CoachUSA, Go Van Galder, which I think is 2 bus companies in one. And then down there it says operated by Wisconsin Transit Lines. I will never understand the clusterfuck of intercity coach operations. This is the bus we're getting. This is 6:30 a.m. There you can see it makes a couple stops, goes to the airport, the bus terminal, and okay. Well, all right, real quick before it changes again, you can see that it's pretty frequent. There are a lot of departures from here to Milwaukee. Okay, it's changed, but there are a lot of departures, so it, decently convenient. You have a lot of options to choose from. I love the stupid little parking shuttle buses. They just scrounged up whatever buses other transit agencies had, and they're gonna run them into the ground. Here comes the motley crew of more random buses. I think that's a Eldorado, and then that's a Gillig, and there's this little squat thing. I don't know, man. The thing about these shuttles too is they just have the livery of whatever agency owned before them. What is that? think that's our bus. Not our bus, but the bus I will be getting on. I love the sign in the windshield. I'm a big fan of these timeout seats back here. Alright, so seat review. It's pretty comfy. I mean, I don't mind it right so far. I've got a little footrest there. No pocket. No. Yeah, no pocket. No tray table either. Let's see. Okay. Decent recline. I've got a screen. I wonder if that'll show anything. Lights. No lights. Air vents. Wear your seatbelts. And we also have outlet down there with both regular plug and USB. USB-A, not like C or anything, but you know, it's there. I mean, it seems like your standard coach bus, so, and it's not like a long ride, so I think it's perfectly serviceable. I do like how they have like this carpeting on the walls. Like, this is so unnecessary, but I love it. Alright, lights are off. We are off. About 2 minutes late, so I mean, essentially on time. Off the interstate to our first stop in Kenosha. Looks like the Kenosha stop is just in this. Oh, the lights are on. Looks like the Kenosha stop is just in this like parking fast food drive-through interstate pull-off hellscape that's nowhere near downtown Kenosha. Alright, heading out of Kenosha about 8 minutes late. So, not the best, but not the worst. Definitely not the worst. We're pulling into the Racine stop, which is just in another one of these car-oriented, sprawly parking lot, interstate development things. The stop is this bench meant for waiting passengers. Oh, yeah. You can't see. It's a CoachUSA bus stop sign. This is the stop. You get a bench literally in the middle of a parking lot. So made it to Milwaukee about 15 minutes late, which isn't ideal. It was rush hour when we were coming in. We were already kind of late coming into Milwaukee, so I mean the ride was fine. I kind of soured on the seat a little bit, but I wish I reclined a little bit more, but I think it was fine for what ended up being about a 2-hour ride. First mode down, the CTA+ATS+CoachUSA Triple Trouble Dream Team. How'd it do? Scheduled to take 2 hours 40 minutes, today it took 2 hours and 57 minutes, since the Airport Express was a little late getting into Milwaukee. Not great, but definitely not the worst. What is the worst is the price. I paid just shy of $50 for this trip. $250 of that is the CTA fare, and the other $47 is the CoachUSA ticket. $40 for the base ticket, $2 for fees, and a $5 reservation, which I guess guarantees you a seat, which wasn't really needed because the bus was not that full. The seat was fine, comfy enough for the length of time I was in it. The chargers were nice and they advertised Wi-Fi, but I didn't test it out. However, the main thing this mode has going for it is the frequency. There are 12 daily airport express trips between O'Hare and Milwaukee, and the Blue Line and the ATS run 24/7. But the main issue with this mode, except for the price, is the bus doesn't directly serve downtown Chicago, requiring that transfer to CTA and racking up the travel time. We're on time for the next mode, which is Flixbus. Why is it always so gloomy and rainy whenever I come to Milwaukee? It's always like all gray and cloudy. Well, our bus is on the screen, starting here and going to Columbus, but it's gonna stop in Chicago along the way. This bus leaves here, stops at the Milwaukee airport, and then goes non-stop to downtown Chicago. So it's a little bit longer scheduled trip, but it's less stops overall. Well, it's about to be 9 o'clock. They've made an announcement about the top bus, the Jefferson lines. So I'm hoping ours will board soon. Alright, well, there's a Flixbus that just pulled in.
Outside bay number 1. Flix, 9 a.m. service. Making stops in downtown Chicago.
Yep, it was just late. But it is clean. I think that was the fastest boarding I've ever seen. Got us all on and we're off right away. Perfect. Okay, seat review. Recline's not great. It's about the same. Comfort is about the same as the CoachUSA. Got footrest again, cup holder, and a seat back pocket. Chargers, screen, it's not showing anything. Lights, do these work? Nope. Yeah, it's your standard coach bus seat. Why would you name your bus company Lamers? Why would you ever take the Lamer bus?
Just had this calypso, paradise punch lemonade. It is minging, it's fucking minging.
We left Milwaukee 5 minutes late, but we arrived here like 30 minutes early. I am not complaining about that. A surprising showing from Flixbus, scheduled to take 2 hours 15 minutes, but only taken an hour 36, arriving in Chicago almost 45 minutes early despite showing up 3 minutes late. It was much cheaper than the Airport Express too. I paid $20.98 for the ticket. However, the price does vary depending on when you book and which bus you choose. Again, the seat was fine for how long I spent in it, and there were chargers and advertised Wi-Fi, which I didn't test again. The main draw for Flixbus is the direct non-stop service between the two cities. Except for the stop at Milwaukee Airport, it goes directly from the Milwaukee Amtrak station to the Chicago bus station, which is still decently close to downtown and has an easy transfer to buses and the Blue Line. However, they offer only about 4 trips a day, meaning it's a much less flexible option.
2 hours later.
We have had no less than like 5 boarding announcements and we are still standing in this damn line. If we're boarding, then let us on the train. Okay, so after they made like the 6th boarding announcement, finally someone comes in and says the train isn't even here. So like they've been making, did no one tell the people making the announcement, hey, the train isn't here yet, don't make these announcements, so we don't think we're just standing here not being let on because the train isn't. Amtrak boarding, I swear, this is gonna be major points off because it should not be like this. This is ridiculous. Okay, it's about 20 minutes past scheduled departure. departure time and we are finally boarding. I guess one thing to make up for it, I'm in a single seat here because this is a business class car. So, oh my god, that was ridiculous. They played all the regular boarding announcements while we were standing in line. So I thought like they just weren't letting us on, but not until like the 6th and final last call announcement did someone come out and yell out, "Hey, the train isn't here." So, and then that was it. That was it. Nothing else until we started boarding. We stood in line for 50 minutes. This is not how you make a good first impression. If someone like me, who is a train enthusiast and takes the train often and is an advocate for taking the train, is frustrated, how do you think people who this is their first time taking it, how do you think they're gonna feel? Well, might as well do a seat review. Big tray table, that's always nice. Seat back pocket, outlets, armrests, reading lights, which interestingly enough, even the single seat has the 2 reading lights. These are the first ones that have worked on any of the modes today. I know people aren't too jazzed about the venture seats, and I get it, but I think it's fine for like the hour-and-a-half long journey this is. I think it's fine for that short of a time span. Amenity-wise, this is the best seat so far. Comfort-wise, it's about the same.
We had some computer problems with one of our engines, so they had to tack on a different engine for us so that we wouldn't have that issue. So we will be leaving here in just a few minutes, so please sit back and relax. Please note that your restrooms, trash receptacles, and recycle bins are all located outside of your coach cars.
Alright, so they just came on. They made an announcement about why they were late, and that, we're probably going to have... I'm holding this upside down. So they just came on, they made an announcement about why the train was late and why we're delayed. I guess they were having computer issues with one of the locomotives coming out of Milwaukee. So they were late getting down here, so they're late leaving. Since we're out of the time slot now, we're going to be like stuck behind Metro trains. Probably just going to get later, but I'm on the train now. I think that's the important part. We're now 40 minutes late, still sitting in Union Station. It's getting to the point where I'm getting worried about my connection in Milwaukee. I had scheduled an hour and 30 minutes. And if we're this late leaving and we're going to get later because we're stuck behind other trains, it's weird because the last time I rode the Hiawatha, it was perfect, no issues. We got on time, left on time, arrived on time. So it's just, I guess it's this way with like all public transportation, stuff can go wrong, stuff can go very wrong. Alright, 41 minutes late and we are moving. So that didn't last long. Made it to Glenview. Our scheduled time to get into Milwaukee is in 7 minutes.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're about 40 minutes from our next station stop of Sturtevant, Wisconsin. Sturtevant will be next, approximately 40 minutes.
We're at Sturtevant, and so I think we stop at the airport and then get into downtown. They've been doing construction on this station for a while. I wonder when it's gonna be done. And that also cleared out this car. A lot of people are getting off here at the airport. A lot of people are getting on. I saw a lot of people waiting.
Once our train has come to a complete stop, we ask that you please exit where you see a uniformed conductor. If a door does come open and there is no conductor at that door, when you exit the train, please watch your step, hold on to the handrails, and use caution.
I just wanted to say that Milwaukee vibes are great. I love Milwaukee. Milwaukee's cool. Thank you. Not a great showing from Amtrak, which had the shortest scheduled travel time of 1 hour 29 minutes, but taking 2 hours and 26. A decent portion of that spent standing in line, with little to no communication about where our train was and why it was late. Communication definitely improved once we got on the train, but the boarding process, especially in Chicago, can be a major pain. Price-wise, I spent $25 on this ticket, but like Flixbus, the price varies depending on how early in advance you book and which train you choose. I've seen prices range from under $20 to about $37, still below the base fare of the Airport Express, but a decently wide range. The seats were again fine enough, and I appreciate the large tray table, legroom, and Wi-Fi that worked. Amtrak also directly serves both downtowns, going from Chicago Union Station to Milwaukee Intermodal. There's also about 7 round trips per day, which I feel allows for a decent amount of flexibility. Again though, the prices can vary and the boarding process is frustrating. I've got about 30 minutes before my bus out of here, and there's one thing that I need to do.
Welcome aboard the Amtrak, bound for Causmic at Austin and Prospect. Streetcars do not stop at all stops.
Alright, now I gotta hustle back to the station. But I couldn't come up to Milwaukee and not ride the silly little streetcar. It's like tradition. Isn't this just impeccable peak vibes? This side is a lot less so, because they put a big ol' highway through it. I love how you can so clearly see the ice still on top. It is warm, it's like 40, so it's starting to melt, but oh gosh, this is just so cool. Just look at those buildings, and oh, okay. I need to stop gawking and catch my bus. All right, well, there are no buses in the bay, so I think I'm good. And it is not on the screen because it's not really an inner city bus. I love these timeout seats in the back, but I will sit here. So this bus is operated by CoachUSA or one of their subsidiaries, but it's part of Racine's transit system. So the fares are super cheap. It's like $4.50 to go from here all the way to Kenosha, which is insane. And this bus actually stops like in the town centers, you know, where people actually live and want to go. So that's also a plus. Seat, it's a comfy seat. About the same as the others, maybe a little comfier, but let's see, it's just the recline. Recline's okay. No footrest, and the charger looks like it's seen better days. I don't know. These are USB. Probably shouldn't be poking it. Last note, and the longest one. I'm not going to get back into Chicago until about 8 p.m. Oh yeah, we got to check if these work. Yeah. So I think Amtrak was the only one that had the lights work. You may once again find yourself in Milwaukee County Mitchell International Airport. Look at that awful bus stop. In right turn slip lane, in between 2 lanes of traffic, cars going either side of you, all sides of you. God, that's an awful place to wait. Yeah, get out of here, 80. Or maybe not, you're actually keeping pace. Get out of here, 80. have a good one. Well, we made it. The only issue is this isn't really timed with the train that well. It's still like 25 minutes before the train leaves, but I guess that means I can grab like something to eat before I hop on this 2-hour-long milk run train. It's going to make every single stop. The streetcar is theoretically running right now, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it in the short time that I'm here.
Hey, good evening, folks. Good evening. Welcome aboard. It's Metra 366. It's a 6:08 p.m. departure from Kenosha, making all stops into downtown Chicago, Oglebay Transportation Center.
I haven't been filming much because I mean, it's just all darkness. We're almost there. This has been such a slog. Because like, I mean, it's dark outside, so it's just been pitch black. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm going. Mom picked me up. I'm scared. Oh my gosh, that took so long, but it's over. Time to go home and sleep forever. Over to Kara in the studio for the debrief. Our final method took the longest of the 4, matching its scheduled time of 3 hours 46 minutes. However, it was also the cheapest, only costing $11.25, $6.75 for the Metra ticket and $4.50 for the Wisconsin Transit Lines fare. Not much new on the seat front, same deal as the others, although I did test the Wi-Fi this time and it didn't work. The main perk of this mode is that it serves downtown Racine and Kenosha, where people actually live and work, and not car sprawl pavement hellscapes by the interstate. But it's not really meant for riders to or from Chicago, as buses aren't timed to connect well with the few Milk Run Metro trains that go to and from Kenosha. So after riding all 4 modes and getting caught up on sleep, it's time to answer the question of which mode is the best. Like most things in life, it depends. If you're in Milwaukee and you need to get to O'Hare, the Airport Express is a great frequent option, and its high price is probably still cheaper than it would be to drive and park there. If you live in Racine or Kenosha, the Wisconsin Transit Lines bus is a great cheap option to get into Milwaukee, with 7 round trips on weekdays, 6 on Saturdays, and 4 on Sundays. But if you're in Chicago, and you want to get to downtown Milwaukee, or vice versa, what should you take? Again, it ultimately depends on what you prioritize for your travel. Personally, I would opt for Amtrak, despite the boarding frustrations, because I enjoy having the flexibility of mini trains, a potentially shorter travel time, and a seat with better amenities such as a tray table and more legroom. However, someone else might prioritize the potential time and cost savings Flixbus provides, and is willing to give us some schedule flexibility for that. I hope this video provided useful information on the different ways to get between the cities, and maybe will help some of you plan trips in the future. Or you could just walk.